I've been playing Marvel Rivals recently, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if one of my characters were in it? What if all my characters were in it? What would their abilities be? What would they look like? And then I got the idea to make money off of it. I'm just kidding. I'm not nearly big enough for that yet. Please subscribe. Speaking of monetization, please go join my coffee. I need the money, please! If you're wondering where my armor is, it's in the closet because it's blisteringly hot in here and I'm about to have a heat stroke. On an unrelated note, can someone blow up the sun? We don't need it anymore. We're doing just fine with our carcinogenics polluting the atmosphere. I am dying though, so the rest of this will be voiceover. Sorry if you wanted to stare at me while I ramble on about this, but I can't see you anyway. My goggles are fogged up. Not much changed from the original design Nicole had, but I overall tried to make the lines cleaner to emulate the lineless style of Marvel Rivals. It was mostly about exaggerating some of the features, like more of a comic booky arc style. Okay, so the biggest challenge for Nicole was how to make her abilities not carbon copies of Hawkeye's, since she literally has a bow and arrow and a wakizashi. Like, I didn't even get inspired by Hawkeye, they just happen to have the same exact kit. It's kind of annoying. The difference is that her bow is literally made of magic, so is her sword, so I could probably do something with that. So instead, I designed her more like Punisher. She has a primary and secondary, her primary being her bow, and her secondary being her wakizashi. Unlike Hawkeye, she is a dive hero. Kind of, it's a little weird. Her entire shtick is that she is the huntress. She literally hunts people. In the Artemis team, she is the tracker, the hunter. She's the one who finds out about people. To emulate this, she has something called the Huntress Tracker, kind of like a spider tracer or a vibranium mark from Panther and Spidey. Also, awesome ability template by Wonderful Weather 83, link in description, and I just noticed that he tells us what font it is. I have not used that font. I am sad now. Anyway, her primary weapon, her magic forged bow and arrow, can fire an arrow that acts like a normal projectiles, or she can charge up the shot to fire an AoE damaging arrow that pushes enemies back in a predictable manner. More on that later. Her secondary is her magic forged wakizashi, doing regular sword slashes but doing more damage to enemies tagged with a hunter's tracker. We'll go through her abilities first and then her team-ups. Her first ability is a passive called cat-like reflexes. It's basically just spider sense, but cat flavored. Her first actual ability is the defensive stance. When she is using her sword and holds right-click, she reduces incoming damage by blocking them with her wakizashi. If instead she has her bow equipped, her right-click will fire a hunting arrow that tags enemy with a hunter's tracker. Unlike a spider tracer or vibranium mark, the hunter's tracker doesn't get consumed upon getting hit. Rather, it's just on a much shorter timer than the other two, maybe like 3 to 5 seconds. The reason for that is that she only has one at a time. If she misses, she'll have to wait about 5 to 7 seconds before she gets another one. I did this to make her more interesting, but also to emulate the fact that she just wouldn't lose the sight of the target if she just attacked them once. It would still go after them. Her next ability is her cat climb. This is just a wall run, like Panther, I know, very original, but it makes sense for her. It helps her to get advantage points because bow and arrow long range, and can get the dive on enemy backline. Next is her predatory pounce, which is just a dash that goes through enemies much like Panther. However, unlike Panther, they do not reset upon hitting someone with a hunter's tracker. Instead, she just has 2 of them for every long cooldown. The idea being is that you use one to engage and one to disengage, and do something like defensive stance so that way you don't die upon retreating. Finally, her ultimate, the Huntress's Quarry, a powerful super arrow, much like Hanzo from Overwatch, that deals massive damage and tags every enemy hit with a hunter's tracker. This is to set up massive team damage with her entire ability kit. Before we get into combos, we'll cover her team abilities. Her first ability is like father, like daughter. This is where Zane Voidur, her adopted father, gives her the ability to teleport a short distance forward. This is great for mobility, and especially disengagements. Next is Infernal Enchantment. Kyra, her just a friend and nothing more haha, can enchant her magic forged bow with infernal magic. When she uses this ability, it shoots an arrow that sets enemies on fire, but if it hits a tagged enemy, it explodes. Good for heavier targets. Okay, now let's do a quick rundown of her playstyle and combos. Firstly, she is a dive hero, but unlike other dive heroes, she's kind of multi-role. Her sword and bow alone can suffice for less experienced players, but her kit is best utilized when the bow and sword are used in tandem. For instance, her charge shot does AoD damage, yes, but it also launches enemies in a certain predictable direction based on where you hit the arrow from. Meaning if you're targeting a more nimble hero that's all over the place, if you hit them with a charge shot, they're in a predictable motion for a split second, allowing you to tag them with a hunter's tracker then going in for the kill. Speaking your combos, her first dive attack may look something like this. You can use cat climb to get to a vantage point or to just straight up dive the enemy. As you're diving, you hit a charge shot into a hunter's tracker to then dash into them, slash them a bunch until they die, then dash to get out of there. You can then mix and match. For instance, if you have the teleport from Zane, you can use both of your dashes in the attack because you now have a different way of getting out of there. Or if you have the Infernal Enchantment from Kyra, you can then use your Hunter's Tracker against heavier targets because the explosive arrow will do much more damage against them. Her difficulty comes from the fact that her main stick, the Hunter's Tracker, can only be fired one at a time. If you notice, I made the Hunter's Tracker cooldown last 2 seconds longer than the Hunter Tracker itself, meaning an enemy you're facing doesn't always have it on. Also, this means if you miss, you have to wait at a minimum of like 5 seconds for it to get back, and so you'll probably just die. And finally, I have no idea if she balanced. She may be too weak or way too strong. I don't know if this playstyle even makes sense, but I thought it was cool because it's a more interesting way to have the dive heroes work. Thanks for watching, be sure to like and subscribe for more. Peace.